we gotta do this intro. Remember, it's about building a brand. They gotta know who they're listening to, and that's the Moose Lounge.
The Moose Lounge.
I heard a little pop as I did it, so I said it twice.
The Moose
Lounge. Welcome to the Moose Lounge.
Welcome aboard the Moose Lounge.
I hope you're ready for smooth rhymes
And good times.
here at the Moose Lounge.
That's good. That's probably our best one.
That was really good.
Nice.
Well, today we're gonna be talking about pirates. Hell yeah. You know, that's where the term limeys come from.
Limeys?
You know what limeys are?
No.
Limeys are, that's, like British people call Americans Yankees.
Mm-hmm.
That's what Americans call British people. It's not as popular anymore, but it used to be limeys always.
Because they were all fucking dirty pirates?
Because they were sailors. And so they were always, had a lot of citrus on them to make sure they didn't get scurvy.
Ooh.
And then eventually they just became associated with them. They're like, oh, these damn limeys are coming over.
I mean, that doesn't even sound like it would sting that much as an insult.
Well, of course, dude. There's lots. Like, honky doesn't really sting either, but it's still one of those. It's not really, Yankee's not really an insult either. You know what I mean? No one's like, you called me a Yankee?
If
Who
someone
the fuck?
calls me a Yankee, I immediately am thinking baseball. And I'm like, dude, I'm a Met until I die. I'm taking that very personally.
That's a mortal enemy. You're taking
Yeah.
that to the Anti-Defamation League or whatever the NAACP is for Yankees. But yeah, today we're talking about pirates. Guess. I know we do this every time. Guess when the first pirates were recorded. Pirates.
First pirates?
First recorded pirates.
I mean, this one seems impossible. I don't know. Like,
It's probably as old as boats if it was real, but this is recorded. First recordings we have of them.
I feel like it's going to be a dumb guess. 1452.
AD.
Yeah.
Oh God, you're just 28,000 years. No, sorry, 2,800 years off.
Zero, but that felt dumb. I was
No,
thinking
dude,
14th.
14th century BC.
But like, what's a pirate? Just a guy with a boat?
Yeah, so it's you're a pirate if you are using a vessel to commit criminal acts of violence onto other vessels or coastal towns.
Okay, so
That's
you're a
technically
boat criminal.
a boat criminal. So obviously, it's probably as old as boats.
So boat cowboy would
That
be
was probably number one use of boats when they came about. Like immediately, they're like, we could
we gotta
take
do
other
some
people's
crimes,
shit with these. Yeah, they can't follow us down the river. So probably around we did cover this when boats came around. Fuck.
Did we?
Yeah, it was like 8,000 BC.
Why? What were we talking about?
We did one.
We've had 3 episodes.
What did we do?
We talked about cowboys. We talked about
Transportation. We did one. We talked about boats, and then cars. Did we not do
that
this?
was not an episode.
Oh fuck. Oh, that was the solo one I tried that I didn't release.
Oh,
I thought,
my
dude.
God.
Wait, I'm gonna look at our episodes now.
This is the first time hearing of this.
I did one on transportation because I thought it was
Betrayal.
interesting. I swear I did it
solo
with you
episode.
too.
What the hell is that?
The Moose Lounge.
Dude, we've literally had 3 episodes. I don't know why I can't remember them either.
I know,
promise
dude.
none
Oh,
of them
we're
were
so early.
transportation. It was
It
like
was history of video games, sports, and cowboys. Yeah, you're right. We did not.
oh yeah, infrastructure. That was the 5th
Infrastructure. It
episode.
was
No.
transportation.
We've done like
sucked.
the most childhood dream things. There was no way infrastructure snuck its way in.
Could have boats. Boats are
Cowboys,
fun.
video games, and what were like Anime Girls was one of them.
No, it was Anime Girls was just a major part of it, but that was actually in the sports episode.
Oh yeah.
Remember? Because the
Funny how-
Mesoamerican ball game reminds you of the girl from El Dorado.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But it was the 14th century BC and these are just like ill-defined. They call them the Sea People, attacked Egypt and a bunch of other Mediterranean
Sounds
countries.
like one of those hateful slurs. Sea people.
Well, good guess, because it probably was. They don't really know who these people were. It was just a conglomerate of pirates that like randomly raided towns in the Mediterranean area.
Isn't that every pirate though? Like, who knows who pirates are?
No, we've got a pretty good idea. Because a lot of from the golden age of pirates, a lot of them were like tried in court. You know what I mean? And there's lots
Did they
of.
show up?
Well, it was after they were captured. It's not like they gave them a summons. It was more like we're gonna hang you, but here's this fake trial first. It wasn't like.
I can't imagine they were represented by lawyers back then, were they?
Oh boy, I don't know. I should hope so.
I mean,
We're talking pre-America in the colonies, so it's really not really a lawful time.
Lawyers versus Pirates?
Lawyers versus Pirates. That sounds like an awesome movie. Or a one-sided battle. The pirates just dominate.
I think the lawyers might. I mean, I don't know. I guess what's your consideration?
You think
though?
lawyers beat pirates in a battle?
I mean, it depends on the battle.
You're right. In a legal battle,
Yeah,
they probably mock
time
the
and
pirates
so many
up,
knots.
dude.
Those boats are gonna be having boots on them and seized in the boatyard.
No, but yeah. So those were the first pirates, and they'd really have no clue. The best thing I saw was like maybe somewhere from Asia. So that's where I'm getting like, yeah,
I
probably
feel like
just
that's where
slur.
everything comes from.
Everything? What do you mean?
Like that's where it all starts, Asia.
Africa. Humans are from Africa.
Yeah, but then we started inventing shit in Asia, like boats and bombs and guns and just like everything.
Yeah, they did
really
do a lot of
started
inventing.
in Asia. Yeah.
Well, maybe pirates too, if we can assume that that it was indeed a racial slur, the sea people, then
Damn sea
then the Asians get piracy as. But yeah, so they were big. Some old other historical ones, just passing over them as Vikings were technically pirates when you think about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't realize it. You
Boat
think of them as
criminals.
separate categories.
Well, I mean, what defines crimes if there are no laws? Like, is it really a crime? or
It's
is it
a
just,
very
like,
loose definition.
frowned upon?
Of course, dude. Like by this, you could look at it like. I think they word it that way to exclude war. You know what I mean? Because like the United States has committed violence at seas. Are we pirates? Like that's what they're trying to avoid with this
They're
sneaky
like, no,
definition.
no, we were at war.
They're like, no, these are esteemed soldiers. They're not pirates of any means.
Such a
Just
good
because
point.
we loot and plunder doesn't make us pirates.
I don't know. The boats don't even have sails.
Yeah,
It's totally different.
Actually, the president said we could do this, so
It's way okay.
This is way okay. But yeah, so they were big on committing criminal acts of violence on the shore and on the water through boats, aka pirates. One other place it was big before we get into the golden age of piracy was big in China in like 1840, with some big battles between the U.S. and England against Asian pirates.
So, is it a battle against pirates, or does that turn into war then?
Well, I think war, it has to be another nation. None of these pirates were their own country.
So who's battling the pirates on our end?
Oh, the like the navies, because the pirates are literally just stealing from cargo ships and stuff like that. So the navy, they send the navies out to try and quell this type of thing.
I see.
Yeah.
And that's what happens nowadays with like the Coast Guard and the Somali pirates,
Yeah, totally.
modern pirates.
I don't know if our Coast Guard encounters the Somali. There's some distance between our coast and Somalia.
Okay.
But
But I
yes,
imagine we
I would
have
imagine
some,
the
like-
Somali and Coast Guard has some conflicts with their pirates.
Would you consider drug smugglers pirates nowadays?
Oh, good question.
They're doing the same thing.
It says violent. The violence is in the definition.
Violent crimes.
Yeah, so drug smuggling is not a violent crime.
But I mean, what if if they board a ship and they don't actually kill anyone, they just
They're very polite.
really polite about it with guns?
Please get off this shit.
Please give us your stuff.
I think threat of
We
violence.
do not want to be violent here.
I think threat of violence would fall under
But
that.
any drug ship is going to have guns and stuff. Actually, not anyone. I think a lot of them are probably just like hoping to not get caught.
Yeah, I think that's a big part of it. You hear about? Have you ever heard of the Bali 9? I think, or the Bali 8?
Definitely not. You
Whatever. I know
me
this because
number.
I was just in Bali, but there are these, I think, 9 guys from Australia that were caught smuggling heroin out of Bali back to Australia, but they got stopped before they left Bali or Indonesia, and the penalty for drug smuggling is death.
Ooh.
And so
In Bali?
Yep. And so all but like 2 of them have been put to death.
Damn.
And there was a 60 Minutes documentary on it.
What if you brought like weed on the plane? Would you have died?
So I actually, if I know Indonesian forces are listening, I did bring an edible into Indonesia and then took it back, knowing full well that the death penalty was on the
You
line.
brought it there and then brought it back?
Well, I brought it there and then I ate it on my way back.
So you just broke the law constantly.
I was in constant violation of the law while in Bali.
Is weed super illegal in Bali?
Super, super illegal. Like,
Does-
yeah, like you're going to jail for a very, very long time. So drug possession, you're not necessarily going to get killed, but it's still very, like, jail for years.
Bringing it on an airplane.
Well, it was an edible, so it was just a loose, and I didn't keep it in the bag.
I mean, yeah, like
It was a loose piece of candy. It was what it looked like in my bag. Because I was like, what are they going to do? Take this to the lab?
You're right.
And, like, and then test it for THC, or are they going to be like, he spilled some candy and forgot about it?
You know what I've done sometimes, and I'm proud of it, is I'll have like the edible, and I'll try and find a candy that looks similar enough, and then like eat half the bag, throw some of those in there, and like shake it up.
So then you don't even know.
Well, no, you can tell.
Oh,
like,
okay.
You know, like they're close enough where I doubt TSA is about to be, you know. Wait, why is this one a little stickier than the rest?
Yeah, excuse me, you're a Sour Patch Kids watermelon flavor. We noticed one of these is not a watermelon.
We had it, and our security guard has not moved for an hour. So,
but yeah, all these dudes got executed because it's super bad.
damn.
And part of it that was bad for them was that it was so heavily publicized. Because normally the Polynesian government, they don't say no to bribes, especially even if that means you getting out of the death penalty. But because this one was so well publicized, they kind of had to.
Damn.
They were
probably bombing.
Yeah.
This would have been a great bribe.
Oh, dude, they would have made dozens of
So much
dollars.
money. Hundreds
Yeah,
of
dude.
pennies.
But yeah, so not good. But then we get to what we really want to talk about here, which is the golden age of pirates.
Golden age.
That's when you think of like, that's like what Pirates of the Caribbean is
baby.
based on,
Pirates.
Blackbeard, Captain Kidd, all these people.
Loved Pirates of the Caribbean in college.
Oh, dude,
that was my go-to. Like Saturday morning, we're hungover, throw on Pirates. Like we watched that movie a lot.
It's such a good movie.
The later ones got a little Disney kind of feels like they took over, and it got a little too magical for me.
Oh yeah, it did a little bit.
It
Like,
was,
he's dead, and then he comes back to life.
It was just so much going on. Like
I mean, dude, they're always magical. The first one has
when
immortal
I mean magical,
skeletons.
I mean like Disney magic. Like
Okay.
it was just a little less
were
because
drawn-
like the
they
original
were-
Pirates were like Johnny Depp, fucking what's his name, Orlando Bloom. Like it was kind of like sexy, gritty. You know, it was scary too.
Yeah.
And then they just got like too family, I guess is the right word.
Yeah, you're right. We're right back to they're taking all the sex out of Disney.
Well,
and
this one
God
wasn't a
damn it, we
kids
need it
movie- or a
back.
kids cartoon. It's just like an adult-ish movie. Like, it was a cool Pirates movie. I don't know many other like good pirate movies.
Yeah, that's a good question. There should be more.
There
It's so
definitely
cool.
are that we would probably be like, oh, but I can't think of any off the top of my head. I mean,
No.
what if I had
Google
a
top 10
supercomputer in front
top
of me?
10 pirate movies.
Top 20.
Oh boy.
Come on, bro. We got to include those 20, you know?
We're going deep, dude. Number 11 might be a banger. You're right.
Well, you know, like sometimes the top 10 comedians are really funny, but those top 20 comedians
All right,
are where
let's-
you really get the niche.
Uh,
Are you not getting the reference, dog? Peter Pan.
oh yeah,
Fucking
yeah,
duh.
I get the rest. I guess, is that really a pirate movie?
Absolutely. It's Captain Hook, and Peter Pan is like a pirate, basically.
I guess, yeah. No, he's anti-pirate.
Treasure Island, that one was pretty popular with our parents, I believe.
None of these are really pirate movies.
I mean, Peter Pan, we should have thought of. I was going to say The Goonies, actually, because it is about someone's treasure. I think it's Blackbeard or something. But that's not necessarily a
Probably
pirate
Captain
movie.
Kidd's.
Huh?
It's probably Captain Kidd's treasure.
Captain whose?
Kidd.
No.
K-I-D-D. He is the one famous for having buried treasure, but sure.
I don't think so. The
I
Goonies is
know
a great
so.
movie.
I've read about it. I don't know
Pirate
that that's what
from
Goonies is
the
about,
Goonies.
but I
Well,
do know that
we're
that's what
talking about.
Captain
One-Eyed Willy, bitch.
All right. Is he a real pirate? Google One Eyed Willy.
William B. Pordrell, better known as William the Pirate. Yeah, I think he's a real pirate. Then the Spanish Netherlands. Otherwise, this movie has some insane lore.
Dude, there's plenty of cool lore.
Okay, I guarantee you One-Eyed Willy. You want to go more into him?
Yeah, just tell me. Yeah, tell
my
us about
God.
One Eyed Willy.
I can't even right-click with this thing. Let's search. I hope it's not just from the Goonies. 'Cause I'm gonna feel like
Is there not a wiki for him? If there's not a wiki for, dude, it might just be from the.
it's just
One Eyed Willy that would be, he would get made fun of so hard by the other pirates. One Eyed Penis is effectively
Here's
his
a
name.
wiki form. It's Goonies.fandom
Yeah,
wiki.
Goonies fandom wiki for One Eyed Willy.
All right.
I was gonna say, I spent the day reading about famous pirates and didn't come across One Eyed Willy.
He wore an eye patch to cover up his one eye.
Oh yes, was a real original name.
Once
they
a court
thought of.
jester for the governess of the Spanish Netherlands. All right, there is some crazy lore. Yeah, I guess it's literally just from this fucking movie.
Yeah.
All right, well, great movie nonetheless. Have you seen The Goonies?
No, I've never seen the Goonies.
Oh my, that's why you're not showing this passion right now.
Yeah, I don't know.
The Goonies is a classic.
It's just about them trying to find One Eyed Willy's treasure.
It's just like one of the classic like kid movies. You know this guy who won an award for everything All at Once, I think it was. Yeah, Everything Everywhere All at Once.
Sure.
He was like, last year, won a shit ton of awards.
He was a big dude in it.
He was a main, and he was the kid in that movie and Indiana Jones. And like, he talked about how he came from that. And like in the Goonies, he's the funniest fucking kid. He has all these little gadgets, and it's, dude, you have to watch the Goonies. It's like a classic. I remember watching that movie 100 times as a kid.
Yeah,
like,
I've never seen it.
Hey, you guys! There's this like Cyclops dude. Long story short, these kids go on like an adventure. They have to like sell their house, and they're all like neighborhood friends, and it's kind of like one of those old like 90s. I think it was like the 80s, where
For that dude to be a kid, probably.
it was 1985. It was like it was a kid movie, like that's the premise, but it was a good like funny adult-ish movie too. Like your parents enjoyed it as well.
Okay.
I guess I had older cousins that I watched it with a lot. But
Yeah.
I feel like it is a classic American movie. We should watch it. We can watch it tonight. Dude.
Yeah, dude, I love
down.
the Goonies.
I haven't seen the Goonies in a
Dude,
minute.
that dude also has one of the funniest lines from Indiana Jones.
The little Asian
Yeah,
dude?
we're gonna have to put this dude on the screen. We'll keep talking about him. What's his name? Can we get his name other than the Asian dude?
K-Hugh Kwan.
Maybe the Asian
He had
dude
a really
was
nice
easier.
speech.
Kehu Kwan. So, dude, he plays like Indiana Jones' sidekick, right? Mm-hmm. Well, at one point they're walking through a cave, and they're like, the floor is crunchy, and they don't know why. And this dude goes, Indiana Jones is like, what is all this crunchy stuff on the floor? And in the most like, it's not racist because he's Asian, but it's gonna sound racist when I do it. He goes like, oh, maybe fortune cookies. And Indiana Jones is like, no, you stupid idiot, this can't be fortune cookies. It's such a funny line coming from this Asian kid.
He definitely got casted like inappropriately. Like back then, their intentions were impure.
Yes,
Yeah.
but dude, it gave us such
that's
a
why
great
he
line.
was like, big dick swinging, because everything. I haven't seen this movie. I should really watch it. Everything Everyone Wants.
I've heard
it's
good things about it. But
Wow, why does it have such controversial reviews
I don't
on
know.
Google? 2.8 stars. This shit won.
I heard it was a great movie.
Same. You know what? The internet is bullshit with reviews, because if you really want to be nice, you'll make a review. But if you want to even be a little bit mean, you'll make the review.
Oh, yeah.
So like the means always outweigh the nice.
Totally.
Comments, especially
Totally.
on
Which makes it. But that said,
94% Rotten Tomatoes. The professionals.
that said was like with like restaurants. If I see a restaurant that's rated below 4.8, I'm like, oh, this is not a good place to eat.
No.
You know what I mean?
No way.
I'm exaggerating, but even
depends
so.
on like what you're doing. Like
it's so easy to game the Google reviews.
it's not.
You and I are most of the Google reviews for Will's business. And he's doing amazing. Our friend Will runs a 331 Junk for your junk needs.
He used to.
Oh, he used to.
They have
Sorry.
since disbanded.
Is it really? What are they doing?
I mean, we don't have to get into this on the pod.
Okay, we don't get on this on the pod.
But
What I meant to say is, you all missed out on the greatest junk removal system ever.
in Central Florida.
Yeah, in Central Florida. God, if you needed junk removed
He would have
from
taken
like 2021
the shit
through
out of that
mid
junk.
2022, and you didn't use 331 junk, you made the wrong choice.
What was that? What was that? Gilligan's Island. Is that a pirate show?
I think it's a TV show.
It's a
I don't
TV
think it's pirates.
Obviously, it's a TV show.
I don't think it's pirates.
it
I
a
don't know,
pirate
dude.
show or
It's
is it
way
a TV
before us.
show?
It's sailors that got stranded on an island. They're not really pirates. I believe that they're well-to-do seamen.
I mean, obviously, pirate movies have died off because these are all like Pirates of the Caribbean was the last one.
Pirate movie, dude. I was thinking about this today. I was like, there's not a good.
We should make a pirate.
If we write a pirate comedy, that'd probably be fun.
A pirate comedy?
Yeah,
I'm down.
I'm gonna try to do some more writing.
I just feel like everywhere you throw pirates in, it's implied that it's going to be like pirate sexy lore or something like that.
we can have some sexy lore in there too. Some sexy pirate lore, and it can be comedy with sex breaks.
Who's the main actress from Pirates of the Caribbean?
Well, you just listed them.
The main actress.
Oh, actress.
She's quite attractive. Elizabeth Swann, who plays her. Keira Knightley.
Keira Knightley.
She's pretty hot.
She is pretty hot.
She's only 38. She must have been so young when she did
Yeah.
that movie.
What, like what, 23?
This came out 20 years ago. She was 18.
Damn.
That's
Well, also,
nuts.
they went on for like 10 years.
But yeah, but I didn't know she was 18
No,
when that
me
movie
either.
started.
Thank God she was 18.
I mean, like, actually, though, she's getting, like, plunged by pirates in that movie. Call me a puppet. That was in the brain.
Oh, it's a
She's
different
married
time.
to this guy, James Wrighton.
James Wright. Let's get back to the real pirates.
Yeah.
We're Keira Knightley is we're off track. Keira Knightley's husband. We're off track here. That's too many. Keira Knightley. All right, she's a pirate. I'm on board. But her husband, not a pirate.
And what if I type in James Wrighton pirate?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's just gonna go right
No,
back to her.
just
All
gotta
right,
get it.
what do you got
All right.
next?
Well, next we're getting into the good stuff. It's the golden age of
I
piracy.
feel like you said that 10 minutes
I
ago.
did say it. Well, we
right to
got off
pirates.
sidetrack talking about Pirates
We
of the
immediately got
Caribbean.
into pirates,
Yeah.
yeah.
But yeah, this is the pirate age that everyone thinks about when they think of pirates. It's the typical one. It was a huge rise in piracy from like the 1650s to the 1730s because all of a sudden, you know, like all this colonization is going on in the Americas. And so there's all this like long overseas travel. Like they're shipping high value goods across the Atlantic Ocean constantly. And so there's like booty to be had, if you would. Nice. We're back. We were talking about the golden age of piracy.
We were.
I'm not going to say the time frame again because after the cut, we'll have just heard it. But yeah, so basically there's this rise in piracy during this time because all of a sudden there's like all this colonization going on in the Americas. And so there's like all these high value stuff is getting shipped over these great distances of open ocean, like from Europe to the Americas. In other words, there's lots of booty for the taking. Unguarded in the middle of the ocean with no one
I
to
guess
help
that
them.
makes sense. Like,
Yeah.
plunder's gonna get plundered, you know?
Yeah, because before it used to be short little trips, or they'd be like bouncing along the coast, stopping port to port.
Yeah.
Whereas now it's like for weeks on end, they could be
dude,
weeks away from help in any
It's
direction.
not like there's any phones or anything.
nothing.
Like,
You're lucky if you got a pigeon to maybe get
it's
it
like
there.
you get home and you're telling people about the robbery and you're like not even that mad because it was 6 months ago.
Dude,
I'm kind of over it, honestly. Like, we've moved on.
Imagine like you're getting chased by pirates in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean, and your only hope is that a pigeon manages to fly 2,000 miles across open water to England. Like that's your last
You're
hope.
looking at that pigeon like,
Yeah.
bro.
You give him like some extra corn, and you're like,
you.
please.
I feel like they didn't have birds. That's like,
No,
they
dude,
can't.
no bird, no pigeon is flying across the ocean. It's just not happening. Like,
Are there any birds that do like sea travel? Like, can they like sleep on the water and then keep going, or no?
Ooh,
feel like
I
that'd
don't
be-
know about that.
The ocean
Probably.
might be tough to sleep on.
I know the albatross does some crazy migrations.
Over the ocean.
I don't know if it's over the ocean, but I think it's like ocean distances. They've got big wingspans. They apparently they only flap once every few
How big
minutes.
are they?
Their wingspan is huge. Let's see.
I mean, an albatross is a 2 on a par 4, so that better be something.
Albatross wingspan 11 feet across is its wingspan.
It looks like a seagull.
But dude, look at this. This thing's built for speed. It's not built for speed. It's built for distance. Look at this comparison. Not a seagull. Not a seagull.
That thing is humongous.
This one's better. Yeah, here, look at this. That's
What does that guy own one?
no, dude, it's mid-flight. It's the taxidermied albatross. God damn, we're gonna have to put so many images on the screen.
I can't see from this angle.
Okay, but yeah, so the albatross maybe does that. But yeah, they were mostly like Welsh, English, Dutch, Irish, and French during this time. The pirates, like this golden age of pirates, and they're usually like poorer people looking to make, looking to make
Should I
like
dump that
a.
into the mic.
They're looking to make like a quick buck, you know. So like before there were gangs, there were pirate gangs.
I don't know, pirate gangs like
I guess they're crews.
Yeah.
Before there were gangs, there
Part
were
of the
crews.
ship,
part of the ship, part of the crew. But yes, this is the golden age of pirates, and there are 3 main periods. The first is the buccaneering period from 1650 to 1680. This was largely French seamen based in Jamaica and Tortuga attacking Spanish colonies and like shipping in the Caribbean. Oh, dude, this was interesting. So there were some English pirates as well. The English captured Jamaica, and then as soon as they did, they started giving out what were called letters of marque. And so basically what that means is you'd give a letter to somebody, and now he had the right to capture or attack and capture the vessel, any vessel, as long as it belonged to a country that they were at war with. So it's like if I gave you a letter.
Yeah, give me a real-time example.
Yeah, if I gave you a letter, who are we at war with right now? Suppose you live in the Ukraine, and I give you a letter, and now you can rob any Russian you see. Anywhere. You see a Russian, you can mug him legally because I've given you this letter.
But, okay, give me a more real-world example. Like, is that actually incredibly accurate? Like, Ukraine and Russia are at war? And
Yeah. So, like, you're at war with someone, and all right, England and France are at war. Yeah, let's just say. Or no, let's say England and Spain are at war.
Yep.
All right? We're in Jamaica. England just conquered it. All right? I'm the governor. You're just a dude with a boat and some pals.
Hell yeah. That sounds like a good
Sure.
setup.
And I'm like, God damn, these damn Spaniards are causing a ruckus, and we're at war with them. I need to do something. I'm going to start handing out these letters of marque. So I give it to you because you've got a ship. And now, when you're sailing around, if you ever see a Spanish ship, you can just take it. Like you can attack it, loot it, plunder, do what you like.
I'm not going to get in trouble.
No, you'll be rewarded
So like
for
legal
your
piracy,
patriot.
basically.
Yes, effectively.
Nice.
And obviously they started handing these out, and it immediately went to everyone's heads. And they just attacked everyone in sight. Like it was so loosely enforced. Again, speed of pigeon is the speed of transportation at the time.
Yeah.
And so like,
Might as well, Rob.
yeah, of course. They're like, oh, it looked like a Spanish flag. No, we just
It was
because
a
they
white
spoke.
flag. They were surrendering.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, so this is what happened. Jamaica and Tortuga, which is actually in parts of the Caribbean, are like these
That's
two.
where they go to get like everything happens. In Tortuga,
Yeah,
like, all
everything is like
the trading.
Yeah, and it was accurate. Tortuga was a huge pirate base.
It's the only
Tortuga,
way I would know that.
So Tortuga was owned by the French, Jamaica by the English, and they're both giving out letters of marque everywhere, every which way. They're like, just attack anything that we're at war with, or basically that we're not a huge major ally with.
Yeah, I'm just actually not a big fan of that guy.
Yeah. And it's like, what are you going to do? Tell on the pirates? Like if they're like, we were flying a Spanish flag. No, you're dead. You don't get to tell on the pirates.
Yeah,
you're
right.
done.
You just hoist new flags after you.
Yeah. Dude, you criminalized them.
Oh, man, they had Nazi flags. What? We had to do something.
There's a bunch of Germans, just like some Spanish flag
you're
thrown
basically
over them.
describing like the entire age before like video cameras, like before they had like proof, but this just happens to be so far away that you could actually kill the witnesses.
And like you could
there's
wave
no
a little
chance.
piece of paper like, no. The governor of Tortuga said I could do this.
Mr. Tortuga.
He's the guy. Also, Tortuga, what a fitting pirate name.
That's what I thought it was
So
fake,
sick.
just based
No,
off like
real
how
place.
perfectly it rolls.
Tortuga and Jamaica were like the pirate hotspots.
Is
during this
Jamaica
time.
the current Jamaica?
Yeah, current Jamaica.
Huh.
Yeah, it used to be big on pirates.
You know, I probably couldn't point Jamaica out on a map. Like I couldn't even tell you. I think I've been to Jamaica too.
I know it's in the Caribbean, but that's about it.
I wouldn't have even confidently
Mon.
said it was there.
Yeah.
Mon.
Mon.
That's 2 cultural appropriation accents you've used in 20
What was
minutes.
the first one? Oh,
Fortune cookies.
Fortune cookie, Mr. Jones.
Inappropriate.
So funny, dude. But yeah, but what happened is they were giving out these letters of marque so freely that it got out of hand super quickly to the point.
As letters of marques do.
Yeah, of course. And we all know about letters of marque.
Classic letter
I
of
hope
marque.
I'm saying it's right. It's Marque.
Maybe it's a marquee.
Marquis
That's kind of how I would
de
pronounce that.
Lafayette. I thought that had 2 E's.
Let's Google it.
Yeah, Google how to say Marque.
Letter of marquee. Pronunciation.
Letters of marque. It says Maark.
Mark.
Letter of marque.
You have to say it like a pirate who hasn't. eaten
Mar.
a
Oh yeah.
vegetable.
Mar. Letter of marque.
So dumb. Do we have pirate jokes today?
No, I should have.
Oh.
I should have.
What if we asked ChatGPT to throw us a pirate joke?
It'll be plagiarized from the internet. It won't be original.
I mean,
It really. ChatGPT struggles with new jokes.
I'm okay with that.
I'm not, dude. This is quality podcasting. All jokes told
What
on
if we
this
attribute
have
it
been
to
written by our
ChatGPT?
producer, Mike Stand.
And light hole.
Light hole? Not. Oh.
Hole of light.
Holy light. Anyway.
Anywho.
What am I? Oh yeah. So basically, this gets out of hand to the point where like pirates are sacking the city of Panama. Like the Panama City got absolutely sacked by a bunch of pirates.
Constantly?
high off their letters of marque. Not constantly, once, and everyone was like, "What the fuck?" Like pirates are sacking major cities because we've given out too many letters of marque.
Oh, that was the first like non-pirate city that they kind of fucked with.
I'm sure it wasn't, but it was the one that was big enough where everyone was like, "We gotta chill." There we go.
That was a good one. That seems like a wake-up call.
Yeah, it was. And so that brings us to the second pirate period called of the Golden Age, called the Pirate Round. And the Pirate Round was characterized by long voyages from the Americas to rob Muslim and East India Company targets in the Indian Ocean and Red Sea. So this was a big change because all of a sudden...
Pirates got racist.
But yeah, basically pirates got racist. No, not really. What happened was that like there used to be this unofficial rule of no peace beyond the line, which meant that like even if treaties were being signed in Europe, they pretended that they didn't happen in the Caribbean so that they could continue to use their letters of marque to rob ships.
Like, is that like international water rules kind of thing? Like,
no, it was literally like, we want to keep robbing people. And so
we're acknowledge those
what
laws?
peace? We didn't hear about, the pigeon hasn't gotten to us yet.
So they weren't like saying we're ignoring this. They're just saying we have, like, they were just like, oh, we haven't heard that yet.
They were just like, that doesn't
Playing
apply
dumb.
here.
Oh,
According
so
to us,
they knew it existed.
yeah, according to us, we're still at war.
Okay.
So that we can still mug you. But basically, this went away after that point. And so that got rid of a ton of piracy. Because all these treaties have been signed. And so that got rid of a bunch. And you combine that with the fact that most of the Caribbean had been plundered to shit.
Yeah, they're like, there's nothing left.
None. Like, cities were on, like, their fourth or fifth plundering. And they were like, what are you plundering us for? You know, it's like you're the second person to a mugging.
The last pirate already got all our shit.
And so they had to, like, look outwards for profitable targets. And so that's why they started looking across the Atlantic and started going
New
over
marks.
there. Yeah, new marks. It wasn't even marks. It was just they were going out there.
When I meant mark, I meant like a...
Oh, yeah. Oh, a letter of marque?
No, I was talking like a new mark. Like if you're a criminal, like this is your mark.
I don't know what that means.
Oh,
I'm not a criminal.
It's like who you're gonna scam.
Oh, okay.
Your new mark.
Oh, interesting. I'm learning new things.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sure. Yeah, they had new
crime game
marks.
up.
But you know what's crazy about this is that Rhode Island and New York were cash starved at the time. Like they were really destitute because of some weird policies, like some navigation policies or whatever. I don't really read about that part.
Fuck that shit.
And so what they were doing is they were funding pirates to go over there, plunder, bring the plunder back, and sell it and to like stimulate their economy. And like they were like, so they were funding them, and then when the pirates got tried for something, they'd be like, well, there's a quote in there, and it's like, this feels harsh for someone who brings so much gold to our city, you know? I mean, like straight up defending the pirates, and they were like, they're like, is Africa even a place? Have any of you been there? Like, what are we in such qualms about? Like,
I mean, I kind of get what they're saying though. Like, it stimulates the economy.
sure, of course, yeah. So that's what they were saying. So the pirates would go there to sell their stuff and spend their money, and that went on for like the 1690s. And then afterwards, we get to the final. And this is the main period of the main period. So the Golden Age is the main thing.
I was gonna say, isn't that kind of like when pirates were thriving?
Yeah, is part 3 of the Golden period.
Part 1 wasn't thrive.
Part 1 was the lead up to the thrive. All these it's called the Buccaneering period.
Okay,
and that's where they all got
just
their
sit back
legs.
and listen, because I really would have assumed part 1 with no laws would have been.
Ooh, you would think so.
Their peak.
But then
I guess part of being a pirate is breaking laws.
Yes, of
Gotta
course.
have laws to break.
So then you have the post-Spanish secession period from 1715 to 1726. And here, American sailors and privateers and English people, all of them, like, basically, there's this big Spanish war that ended, and all of these privateers on the military of both sides were left jobless because they used to work for the military, and that was how they made their earnings. And so what happened was that the nautical labor market became flooded with labor. Like, so there was too many people for the number of jobs.
Too much semen.
Yes, there was too much semen
overload of
in the
semen.
nautical labor market. And what happened was wages plummeted. And so all these guys were like, I'm getting paid shit. I'm working on some crappy merchant ship going back and forth across the ocean. I'm just going to be a pirate. And so you had this huge influx of former military people becoming pirates because it was way better than trying to work as an honest sailor.
Huh.
And weirdly,
What
pirates.
time period is this? Can you
This
remind
is
me?
1715 to 1726.
Okay, so yeah, shit's getting like pretty modern at
Yeah.
this point.
Well,
modern enough.
compared to
AD.
sure.
Zero.
Well, we've been AD for a while. This is all taking place in the span of 75 years, something
Okay.
like that.
Dude, I'm not gonna lie. When you said AD in the beginning, I thought it was BC. Like from the way you asked, because I meant 1400.
It was BC. 14th century BC was the first pirates.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. That makes more sense. Okay, so I was wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You were off by
But
2,000.
when you said AD, I meant to lie, thinking that I was being like, yeah, that's what I was thinking. But
Yeah.
AD is the right one that I was.
AD
actually
is the
thinking.
right one. A quick sidetrack along that. I hate Neil deGrasse Tyson.
No, you don't.
I do. I think he's so pretentious.
Oh, come
dude,
on.
No, dude. I know he seems lovable.
He's a nice
I know
guy.
everyone out there thinks
He
he's
loves
lovable.
science.
You would think, but he thinks people are stupid. Here's
Well,
here's
we
why.
are.
But let me tell you why.
Tell me.
I read his book. It was like Don't Stop Looking Up. I forget the title. It's been a while. But anyway, he starts the book, and in the preface, he says, "This is a book to relay, astronomical facts and physics facts to the typical person, just to the typical person," and proceeds to write a book for children. It's like he thinks you're the dumbest human alive as you read this book. He's like, I'm just making up numbers. He's like, the moon is 800,000 miles away. That's a really big number, isn't it?
It is a really
big number that is. Oh my goodness, this is so big. Like, this is what he's writing.
Because he's writing it for children.
No,
Like,
he says for the normal person. He doesn't say for the 4-year-old. If he said it was for 4-year-olds, it's a great book. But he's like, no. Everyone is stupid except for me. I better make this sound as dumb as possible. But whatever. He makes one good point, and he says that AD should be used instead of AD and BC should be used instead of like BCE and CE. The reason being that the guys that created the whole calendar that the whole world used were religious Catholic monks. They made it up. Like, it was all their work. And you're gonna like
kind of deserve.
Yeah, they had to pick a spot to base it
fair.
on, and so they picked the birth of Christ.
Yeah, we're gonna like take it. And be
You're
like,
gonna
we
take
don't
it
want the
all
religion
because
part.
yeah, they're like they set it all up, and you're like, well, we don't want to say before Christ. Everyone acknowledges Christ was an actual person, whether you think his miracles were real or not. So it's a fine point, and the calendar works fucking
Should we
amazing.
turn this into a religion podcast?
Do you have an appointment on Tuesday, August the 4th? Well, thank the monks. All right, because otherwise it's in a fortnight at sundown.
We would have figured something out without Christ.
Yeah, well, yeah, some other religion would have taken over, and it would be like before Buddha and post Buddha. All of science was done by religious people for a very long time.
Because they were the only ones that had like money.
And knew how to read. Not even money. They were the ones that knew
Education.
how to read. Like, yeah, they weren't known for. They're monks. They were poor monks. Like, oh, you want some more alcohol?
Some more juice.
Oh, jeez. Oh, God. It's going to be a minor. A
You
monstrous.
almost went into the red.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, jeez. Oh, I didn't say you should get more, especially if you're going to be pouring it like
Just
a...
pour those out. You
monk.
do that. While I read for a second.
Do some reading.
Yeah, what was I about to say? Yeah, so they're left unemployed, and so they all turn to piracy,
As
the
one
Caribbean, and in the Indian Ocean. All of these people after the Spanish Secession War ended. It was in a weird way progressive, because a lot of these guys were working on slave ships, and they were like, we're not getting paid enough on these slave ships. We're going to become pirates.
I'm going to make way much more money as a pirate than a slave owner.
And then, well, they weren't slave owners. They were slave temporary owners. Like, they just transported them across.
Slave renters.
I don't know a good word for this.
I think anytime you're shackling a person, you're a slave owner. Slave trader.
No, you're not. Yeah, slave trader. There you go, slave trader.
I think it's actually worse.
Not owner.
It's like in Bali, you get in way less trouble for owning drugs, but if you're a drug dealer,
This is in no way me advocating for it. In fact, I'm saying it's good they left, and because then they turned around, and the major trade route that they would plunder was the slave trade route. There was this big, they called it like the trade triangle, where it was like European nations would send ships down to the coast of Africa, where they would trade manufactured goods and weapons for slaves. They would take those slaves to the Caribbean, where they would sell them for stuff like tobacco and sugar and cocoa.
Okay.
And then they would take all of those products back to Europe. And so they were going in this triangle constantly.
What was it called?
It was called the Trade Triangle.
I thought it was slave triangle.
No. Trade. It was a sort of 1/3 of the triangle was that. But
The most important third.
But yeah, so they were working on this route and then turned to piracy and began raiding that route. So without even knowing it, pirates were the wokest of this time.
Wow, they were ending slavery
They left the trade and then began pillaging it and taking like shutting it down.
Wow.
Sort of.
Brave pirates. So brave.
Yeah, very very brave, these
Inspiring.
pirates. But yeah, so I mean, a famous raid happened during this time in 715. Pirates raided a bunch of Spanish divers that were recovering gold from a sunken ship off of Florida. You forget how much piracy happened around the United States.
I mean, 1715?
Yeah. So the U.S. colonies are all there.
Yeah.
I mean, they're not U.S. Like Florida still belongs to Spain in this time and stuff.
Okay.
But it's like, people are inhabiting all these places.
When did we get Florida?
That's another podcast for later. I don't know when we acquired Florida. But you ever been to maybe not St. Augustine's in Florida?
No. I've never been
It's
there.
got a sick
1819, not even 100 years later.
Yeah, 100 years later. St. Augustine's in Florida has a sick pirate base. Not pirate base.
Maybe I have
Fort
been there.
against pirates. Anti-pirate base.
Do not show
Oh,
up to
dude, it's
pirate.
awesome. I visited there, and the whole thing still kind of feels like a pirate town. It's like the main strip is like this little cobblestone street with bars on either side. Super cool. Highly recommend. But yeah, so there was a big major raid of Spanish divers trying to recover gold from a sunken ship off of Florida. It was successful, but then they went to Jamaica, the former pirate hotspot, and tried to use the gold to buy stuff there, and the Jamaican governor shut them down. They're like, you can't sell gold here. So then they had to take their gold, and they set up shop in the Bahamas.
Why wouldn't they take gold? Isn't gold?
Because they knew it was stolen, and it was pirated, and they didn't want to start another
Melt it
war
down
with
and
Spain. Look, I'm not saying it was the right decision. I'm just saying that that's what the governor of Jamaica
I feel like
did.
gold is the easiest shit
He
to
was
get.
like, nah, man. Not here, man.
That is third
Is that
cultural
really- I
appropriation.
feel like Jamaican accent is one of those ones you can just do.
Wow. I'm going to call that a fourth
Is that a
appropriation.
fourth? That's
Because they're the easiest to do.
not because they're the easiest, just because no one seems to get mad about it. There was what if I'm just a big fan of Apple Jacks? How-
You didn't
and I
mention
love
the
their-
cereal once.
But I really like their slogan.
And he specifically says cinnamon.
Cinnamon is the what? Cinnamon is the what? Is it the Wintermon? That's great. That was our awesome commercials. I love
Dude,
it.
I mean, I remember like being into that story. Like,
Yes.
oh my god, like what's he gonna do next to that son of a bitch
I was
apple?
like, oh my god. And it's always like a race to the Apple Jacks.
Dude, commercials were so good back in the day. Like
Yeah.
the goldfish commercials and the Chef Boyardee. Oh, but I love what was it? The ravioli that followed you home.
Yeah.
Chef
Yeah,
Boyardee,
that was
yeah.
another really good one.
Just fucking ripping through the streets. Good commercials. I feel like we don't have those anymore.
No, not really.
What else we got?
But yeah, so that's the end of like just general pirate info.
Okay.
And then I just have some info about famous pirates.
Nice.
Specifically.
Is that One Eyed Willy on that list?
One Eyed Willy is not on that list.
He didn't
'cause
make the cut.
He's not a real pirate.
He's more famous than any of these sons of bitches.
Maybe Blackbeard might be more famous.
Blackbeard.
Everyone knows
the
Blackbeard.
guy. I've actually read about him before, because he was.
What do you know about Blackbeard?
I don't remember specifics, but I just remember him being a fucking savage. Like,
He was a
constantly
savage.
went
So
into
cool.
battle and was just fucking shit up all the time, and like.
Dude, he got captured for being a pirate, got pardoned, and then immediately became a pirate again. No remorse. He was like, that's cool, pirate.
How long do you think he walked from jail like onto the boat and he immediately was like,
Oh my
"You
gosh.
idiots!"
He immediately committed violent criminal acts
Well,
at
he
sea.
wasn't very tall, if I recall, as well.
Oh, I didn't read about his height. You know what his real name was? Edward Teach. I like that because my name's Edward.
And you teach.
And I
math.
used to teach. So that I felt that deeply. But yeah, so we'll just do Blackbeard first then. Named Edward Teach. He was unemployed after the war with France ended. He was British. So he just joined a pirate he knew called Benjamin Hornigold.
That must have been such a common thing. Like,
Dude, this was huge. Almost piracy is like retired naval people.
Yeah,
War ended and they were just unemployed.
and like bored and fucking...
really good at capturing ships. It's like the perfect storm to become a pirate.
Think there were like interviews on the ship? You're like, so how many ships have you captured? Well, let me tell you. Back in my day, no ship was safe.
Yeah. Captured so many ships, dude. You know, this is the only thing I know.
Would they get to pick their pirate name, you imagine? Or was it like something that others picked for you?
I think you were pretty lame if you were trying to push your own pirate name. You bust into the bar like, here comes Blackbeard. They're like,
Captain
shut
Big
up,
Dick."
Ed. Blackbeard.
Blackbeard had a crazy long Blackbeard, obviously.
You would hope.
I think it like
I don't
catches
know.
fire and shit, or he would do something with it. Like, he
Oh,
would,
you're
like,
close. No, he would do one of his intimidation tactics was he would put a fuse under his hat, lit, and so basically like light would be shining under his
yeah,
hat
he'd have, like,
to his
smoke
face,
pouring
and
through his
smoke was
face.
coming out, so he looked
Yeah.
like a crazy madman when he was
what
attacking
a
you.
sicko.
Oh, dude, such a good plan. And dude, he definitely had an art of like a bald spot on his head from the fuse getting too low.
Damn.
You know, and he just burnt it in there. But luckily, he's a pirate. He wears a hat all the time.
Shit.
You don't need to worry about
Just
it.
constantly wearing a pirate hat.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter.
But yeah, so he joins Benjamin Hornigold. Benjamin gives him a slip, and they like work together for a while.
Hold on. Sorry to cut you off, but I think that's why I looked him up. Those two did something. There was some like situation with those two.
I'm sure. I didn't
That
notice
was like
it at
rather
least.
famous. I
Well-
think it was like the first inhabitants of some island, or like they created a nation essentially. 'Cause
I
they
wouldn't be
like,
surprised. I
what's
mean, dude, nations were up for creating then. No one was on any island.
Blackbeard and what was his name? The other guy?
Benjamin Hornigold. Horni Gold.
I don't even know what to.
You gonna get anything? It's just gonna be
don't
lots
know.
of results for Blackbeard.
Yeah.
Just get rid of that and do like Blackbeard creates nation.
Creates nation.
That'd be sick. I would love to be in a pirate created nation.
I don't remember. I'd have to like look up what I was reading, but it was essentially like these indigenous people that were created by these like 8 pirates that like bred everything.
Oh, like they got stranded somewhere and created a nation.
Yes, and they were like
That's pretty
stranded
sick.
with these like 4 people, and I think that's how I got to reading him, but it might have not been him.
Oh, dude, we could do an episode on uncontacted tribes. That'd be fun. That'd be sick. But yeah.
Yeah, you go on.
Well, Blackbeard's most famous thing was he held an entire town for ransom. He blockaded Charleston, South Carolina.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, he set up this blockade for medicine. I couldn't find what the medicine was for. I didn't look that hard either. But basically, he blockades this town and starts capturing every ship that tries to enter the port. And they're stuck there. And he's not demanding money. He's not demanding anything like that. He's just demanding medicine. And they don't want to give in to the pirates.
Like, no.
They were saying no at first, like don't negotiate with terrorists. We say yes, then the pirate comes back for anything he wants, all that jazz.
You give a mouse a cookie.
Yeah, if you give that's what it
pirates
is.
some medicine.
If you give a mouse a cookie, it's really a warning for pirates. People didn't pick up on
They
the
really wanted to embed that into the kids' minds.
yeah. No one really got the moral of that story.
Never.
The pirates. But anyway, so this goes on for a stalemate for a while until finally. One of the ships he captures is trying to enter the port is full of like Charleston elites, like higher ups in the community, and so finally they give him the medicine. And credit where credit is due, Blackbeard gives them back the hostages after robbing them of everything they had on them.
Okay, so he was a man of his word.
Yeah, he was like, "Here are the hostages. I didn't say you could have their stuff." Like apparently some of them went back naked because he liked their clothes, like that kind of thing.
Okay.
Yeah. And then finally he dies.
Finally, he dies?
Yeah, he dies. He was killed in a battle near Maryland by English Lieutenant Robert Maynard, who snuck up on him and died in a sword fight, allegedly after taking 25 wounds, 3 of them from gunshot.
God damn.
Yeah.
They had guns? I mean, I guess they...
Yeah, but they were
like shitty guns.
Yeah, there were pistols where you had to like pack in the gunpowder and then load in the thing. It wasn't great.
I mean, I feel like that's the fair... Like, if you miss, then you kind of have to do some dodging for him to miss. It almost feels like a Modern Warfare sniper battles.
A little bit, yeah. You got a second to jump around while the other guy reloads.
The good old days, dude. Now it's just like he could have the fucking banana clip on there. And
just you get no break. It is almost more fair. But then also, you could be a great shot and just miss because it spiraled somewhere. Like the accuracy was terrible.
The bullet wasn't properly rounded.
Dude, like none of bullets were going straight.
Weren't they just like circles?
Yeah, they were just little balls.
Yeah.
They were little metal balls that you made an explosion behind.
Why didn't we talk about cannons at all? I feel like
I don't know,
dude.
Sick. We could do a cannon. We could do a whole
episode on cannons.
That'd be fun. That'd be sick. It's slowly just going to turn into fun interests.
Just
like childhood dreams. Just childhood dreams.
This is our podcast.
This is just childhood dreams. That's what it is. These are all things, professions I would like to have had.
I mean, wasn't it crazy that pirates had to like be next to the person to shoot? Like most cannons weren't in the front. I imagine they were all on the sides.
That was like a crazy advantage. If your cannon was in the front,
they'd be like, "Wait a second.
They're like, he can't get us. These boats pointed right to us. What the fuck?
I mean, imagine how hard it is to turn ships nowadays. It must have been. Was it easier back then?
It wasn't easier, but you could still turn them pretty quick.
But I feel like now it's hard.
To turn a boat? What are you talking about?
Well, we're not using sails anymore. It was hella windy out there on the seas, but to turn a cargo ship takes forever. But I feel like to turn a sailboat
these boats are such
a huge sails, like impractically huge sails.
But they didn't use their sails to turn; they use a rudder.
But I feel like
if you're moving at a good clip, you can turn pretty easily, pretty fast. But yeah, if you're still in the water,
you could probably like lean on those boats and they would turn.
You
hard.
Might, dude.
Like everyone run. I think they have to do that in one of the Pirates movies.
Oh, you're right. I should have read a little bit more about cannons to put for this, but whatever.
No, it's okay, bro. I forgive you.
Yeah, you forgive me.
Yeah, I've been the one,
but
over prepping for these episodes for sure.
Yeah. But the greatest pirate. We're a diversity, equity, and inclusion is a big concern here at the Moose Lounge. We like to make sure that all of our episodes are diverse.
Of course.
And we check 2 boxes at once with this Chinese woman pirate.
Wow, very progressive.
Satisfying our DEI requirements. But
what year was this?
This is in like the 1800s. Oh. But dude, Qing Shi. 1800s? I don't know. I'm probably saying that wrong.
Probably.
Qing, I'm pretty sure I got. SHIH? How'd you say that? Shi?
SHIH?
Shi?
I don't know.
I feel like Shi is about as good as I'm going to get.
I don't know.
Yeah, whatever. That was her name. So this woman.
Where is it?
Qing Shi. That's her name.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Yeah. That's what I'm going with. So this woman, she marries this pirate, Zhang Yi, at 26.
Cool.
And a few years later, he dies falling overboard. But as pirates tend to do. Although, let's be honest. If you die falling overboard as a pirate, you're a letdown.
I was gonna say,
you're not.
Did he drown or did he like hit a rock?
It just says
if you hit a rock, that's like fair. But if you drown as a pirate, do you think they all knew how to swim? Pirates in general.
That's a good question.
I feel like no,
probably not.
Because swimming.
No, you gotta know how to swim.
Yeah, you're right. I mean,
yeah,
but isn't swimming?
I'm imagining it was like a huge, crazy storm, and they have no lights. So, like, if you're on a boat...
I mean, if you get thrown off a boat out at sea, it's like...
And it's nighttime, you no longer see that person. He fell into the abyss. He's gone. And, like, if you're moving at all, you're like, well, he's just dead.
Yeah, no.
We're never going to find him.
We never saw him again.
Yeah. So that's... But whatever. He falls off and dies. And so Qing Shi takes over command. And she does it with the help of their adoptive son, Zhang Yi's nephew. Because he technically inherited control of the fleet. But then she was more or less in control of him. And eventually, like...
Sounds like some Game of
So,
Thrones.
yeah, so at first, he was the official leader, and she was kind of like the behind-the-scene leader, Qing Shi. But he wouldn't do anything without her okay. And then over time, they got more used to the idea of Qing Shi being in charge, and she just, like, started taking direct command.
Nice.
But for a while, it was proxy through... Yeah, dude, it gets more awesome. She was so cool. She's, like, one of the most successful pirates ever. She's awesome. So when she first started, she had a fleet of 400 junks, which are just imagine a Chinese sailboat. That's what a junk is. We all have an image of it in our minds.
A junk?
Yeah, it's spelled the way it is. Just type in junk boat, parentheses boat. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, one of those.
Cool.
It's one of those. So those, she had 400 of those, and 60,000 men. 60,000 men she was commanding. Isn't that wild?
That's insane. On one boat?
On one boat. What did you just type in?
Sinbad pirate, because I feel like there was a couple of those boats.
I'm
That's another
sure.
pirate movie.
That is another good pirate movie. But yeah, so they were so huge, they were having conflicts with
obviously not on one boat, 60,000.
Yeah, not on one boat, obviously. It was like a pirate conglomerate. You know what I mean? Like there were sub fleets within this. Yeah, Pirate Corps. Pirate Corps.
Who do you work for? I got a job at
Pirate Corps. We're unionizing.
We're at Qingxi, yeah.
Yeah.
She got us unionized. We're great.
What do we want? Booty. When do we want it? Arg. But yeah, so what else was I gonna say about her? Yeah, so they have conflicts with the Qing dynasty in China. How do you say that? Qing dynasty?
Stop asking me like
you're not up on Chinese history and Chinese pronunciation of Chinese history.
Not currently.
Well, the Qing Empire. I'm gonna say King for now. Portuguese Empire, the East India Trading Company, they were having conflicts with some of the greatest like forces of the world at that time. Like she was a force in and of herself doing this.
60,000 people's bigger than like a lot of things, I would imagine.
That's crazy. That's a huge, ridiculous amount of men, especially for the time.
Yeah.
Like you ever read like there'll be like the description of a battle from some historian, and they're like, lives were lost, blood was everywhere, the most tragic battle we've ever seen. It's like 4 deaths. 4 deaths. It was 50 guys on each side. Like it's just the tiniest battle ever. And now we're like thousands of people dead by drone strike. It's a Tuesday. It's like very.
Some dude did it from his MacBook.
Yeah, some dude did it using an Xbox controller. But yeah, so famously they were blocked into a bay. So first off, they fucked shit up in China forever. So successful, no one could stop them. Until finally the Portuguese got involved because they raided a Portuguese ship when they shouldn't have. Or not when they shouldn't have, without really knowing. They were just raiding left and right. And so the Portuguese were very involved. And so they sent over troops to help out the Qing dynasty in capturing these pirates. And they blockade them in a bay. And basically, but even stuck in a bay, they're blockaded in this bay, so they can't escape. It's still at stalemate. They can't conquer them. And so what Qingxi does, well, like first off, the Portuguese are doing everything to get rid of them. They're like, at one point, they sacrifice 40 of their boats, light them on fire, and send them into the bay.
That didn't work?
Dude, the Qingxi sent her troops out. They just guided the ships to shore, and then they used it for firewood, and like zero effect. But one of the main reasons that Qingxi couldn't escape is the winds weren't in their favor. So they're having a really hard time sailing out away from the bay.
So they were stuck there as well?
They were kind of stuck there. And that was the cause of the stalemate, because the moment the winds changed, they sent some of the fireboats back. Then for some reason the Portuguese couldn't handle them.
Their own boats?
Their own boats. They sent some of them back on fire. Those fucked them up. And they just immediately escaped when the winds changed. But also they were like, during the blockade, were merciless. Apparently they captured one ship with 70 guys on it and just immediately killed all of them and took the boat. Just like merciless. But yes, they eventually managed to escape from this. And she becomes so powerful that the Qing dynasty then decides to negotiate with her. And so they negotiate, and I missed so she and her and like her adopted son-in-law, he gets the title of lieutenant, and she just gets let off because women don't get titles at that time. She just gets let off with a ton of money. He gets to retain a bunch of their troops and like continues to work for the Chinese government. But she became so powerful that they're like, all right, we're forgiven for all of your crimes. You're now nobility within China. Just please stop pirating for the love of God. And so she retires and becomes the proprietor of a gambling house. Like she runs a casino until she dies happy.
Pirate-esque.
But I forgot a key detail here. Pretty soon after her husband dies, she starts having sex with her adoptive son, her ex-husband's nephew.
Adoptive son?
Yeah, her ex-husband's nephew.
That's fine.
I would be personally, if I was her original husband, I would be a little annoyed. And I'm like, really? We raised this guy, my nephew, and there's like rumors that they were already sleeping together before her husband died.
Wait, so she raised him? I thought it was...
It's weird. It lists him as the adoptive son of her first husband. Her first husband dies, and she immediately starts sleeping with him.
Yeah.
So who knows what the ages were?
I'm hoping, but it's also back in the day.
Yeah, the age didn't really matter.
She's a pirate king, you know.
Yeah, queen. But yeah,
Pirate queen, you're right.
pirate queen.
She was definitely like a Harvey Weinstein figure back then. Like,
if you wanted to get ahead in the pirating world,
yeah,
you had her raise you for a while, and then you slept with her.
Got right in there. Do what you do for the pirate code.
So that was a little shaky. But he dies pretty soon after they get pardoned.
Damn, what is she, fucking killing him?
Well, no, she's not killing him. What's happening is like he gets pardoned, becomes a lieutenant for the Chinese government, and he's still like fighting some battles, and he just loses a battle somewhere and dies, pretty much. Whereas she's happy running her
She lives to be like 70.
Yeah, she lives to be about 70. She lives forever. Arguably the most successful pirate ever. Because she got to keep her loot.
70.
She got to keep men. She got pardoned by the government. Starts a successful second business.
Yeah, what is she doing wrong?
Nothing. All of the others all of the others get like die by scurvy or they get arrested or whatever. And like, but she knocked it out of the park.
And then got to die like a gambling addict.
Mm-hmm. I don't know if she was an addict, but she ran her own thing. It was good.
Addicted to the game.
Addicted to the game. That was the closest thrill she could get to piracy after she retired officially.
Cool. What a savage.
Yeah, dude. So that's the end of pirates, or at least stuff I have for pirates.
What about Zhang Bao? Or is that? Oh, that's
Zhang Bao is her
son
that she ends up marrying and having sex with.
I was peeping over at the list. So it's on me.
Yeah. He's a separate paragraph, but no, he's one in the same.
I thought I had a couple of pirate things that I was hoping you'd mention, but I'm not sure if we got there. And
what are they?
I'm trying to remember. Oh, like pirate code. We didn't talk about that.
Is that a thing?
Yeah, I think so.
I know it's a thing in Pirates of the Caribbean.
I think it's like a real thing.
Like, we're talking about
parlay. But I
also
said that about One Eyed.
Parlay.
Yeah, parlay. That's kind of the.
I think parlay is just a word. I think it's a sailing word. I don't think it's a pirate word.
They stop the crew from gambling, bringing women on or children on board, or fighting with each other. Yeah, pirate code. Dude, look, this looks pretty fucking legit. Pirate code, pirate articles. It's kind of sweet. They had their own rules.
I guess.
Portuguese buccaneer, huh? In the 1660s.
All right, dude. Next week's episode is aliens. Come with some alien facts.
No, I like this.
Like the structure where I do all the facts and you just you learn them as you're going.
We could change our podcast to Brian Reacts.
It's just the Brian Reacts channel.
You have some jokes for us if I remember correctly.
I do. You want to do one of yours first?
Yeah, you excited for these?
Yeah, welcome to the joke section. We finish all our podcasts with jokes.
Every single one of our podcasts ends with a joke.
So this is
How could you give me this one when I haven't even seen?
What? Oh, because it's just funny. You don't have to see it.
The movie Oppenheimer was so good that the bombing all those innocent people... Okay. I didn't read it. The movie Oppenheimer was so damn good that bombing all those innocent people was actually worth it. That one's fucked up.
It's fucked up.
Especially after your racist comments.
I made no racist comments. I quoted an Indiana Jones movie and an Apple Jacks commercial.
And you had to quote it with an accent?
Yeah. All right.
I believe you're next.
I've got one here. If you work on a construction site, safety protocol requires you to wear a plastic hard hat and steel-toed boots. Not how I would have prioritized things. Did you hear about Jimmy? He got obliterated by the excavator. Well, at least we have his toes to remember him by. That's what matters.
And that joke is stupid until you do that last part, and then it's actually kind of good. Yeah. I'll give you that. It was dumb until you threw that in. But it still makes sense. I think the idea is that the hard hat will help you against maybe like a pebble, but if you're getting a cinder block on you, I think you're toast even.
Oh yeah, you just want that instant death. You don't want to.
You don't want to be a vegetable with good toes.
You don't want to survive a major injury to your head. So really, we're doing you a favor, giving you a plastic helmet
welcome.
and steel-toed boots.
All right, I'll read this one.
Yeah, do your second one.
What's that word?
Which one?
Hopefuls?
Yeah, hopefuls. You read it first.
I don't like that you get to pick the jokes that
Well, that's fine. That's not that bad.
There are two types of Olympic hopefuls: talented athletes and 12-year-olds who still think that they are special. Don't like that joke.
Why not? That's funny. Everyone's an Olympic hopeful if you're optimistic enough. That's like, I'm an Olympic hopeful.
Honey, you're gonna be the best goalie.
Yeah. If they ever add like masturbating and watching TV to the Olympic Games, I'm an Olympic hopeful.
Second. You think I can get this through the little hole?
Try do it. Oh, so close.
Right over.
All right, I've got one more, and I'm gonna do it to you. It's a knock joke.
Oh man.
I wrote this knock joke, so I just want it out there on the internet, so that when someone else thinks of it, I can say, "Well, I was still the first one." So when you hear this, when you're hanging out here telling your pals knock jokes,
When I'm listening to
They're from
the
me.
Goose Lounge.
yeah,
And
the Goose Lounge.
those sons of bitches over at the Goose
Yeah,
Lounge.
and Teddy and Ryan discuss random topics. Yeah. So,
What are you, a rapper? Yeah. So,
Yeah.
mic check.
yeah, here. I can't even do a rapper's intro. I can do nothing rap related.
Nothing hard.
Knock.
Who's there?
The proctologist.
The proctologist who?
Never mind. I'll meet you around back.
That's definitely been somewhere.
Dude, I wrote it. I couldn't find it on Google anywhere. I spent forever looking.
An around the ass joke.
A proctologist knock joke. If you find it out there, if any of our 4 listeners find it out there,
Yeah.
let me know.
You guys scour the internet for that one.
I did. I spent some time Googling. I think it's original.
All right. I believe you.
Nice.
Looks like our audio stuck true the whole episode.
It does look like that.
This might be our second full episode.
Our second episode with no audio
Uninterrupted.
issues. That's all right. We're figuring it out.
We're learning along the way. And you know what? We're doing it with you guys. It's a family journey.
It's all about
We got how many subscribers on YouTube?
9. We only account for 3 of them.
9 absolute savages.
Savages,
Absolute
dude.
legends.
Ridiculous. Oh my goodness.
Huge penis and
People with taste.
labias, just the
Yeah.
massive
Yeah.
genitalia on
No,
both
even
sexes.
the girls, huge dicks, like just incredible. You guys have great taste. You know what a lounge is.
Phenomenal
You like
hair.
moose.
Just everything.
Really, they just liked one of our clips and are hoping that we'll post more clips.
They're hoping we'll sleep with them.
Yeah, they're hoping we'll post more of the joke clips. Is pretty much that's gonna be our lore for a while.
They're like, why do they put all this bullshit before the joke?
yeah, before
What is
the
this?
4 jokes
What
I
is
want to
this
hear.
hour and 12 minutes of nonsense for my jokies?
All right, that's the Moose Lounge. Thanks for moosing around
Thanks
with
for
us today.
moosing in and out, hanging around, smooth rhymes,
and good times
here at the Moose
at the
Lounge.
Moose Lounge. We could think of something, You may think we were goosing around.
We were moosing around.
We were moosing around. You may think things are loose in here, but really, they're moosing here.
Moose. Slick. Oh, I just saw the camera shake.
It's
Crazy.
whatever. It's been I hit the table a few times for emphasis. It shook.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, or a little earthquake. I have a tripod I should probably just bring.
That doesn't have to sit on our table.
Sometimes it's on the table so we can bang the table for
It's
emphasis.
sitting on a chessboard and then a block is.
And then a block.
All right, that's
Moose
episode
Lounge.
4. Thanks for
We'll
tuning in.
We'll see you guys next week to chat about aliens.
I bet you Eddie doesn't edit this shit out.
I will edit this shit out, and I will add the photos for the Asian gentleman we were referencing, as well as some others. I'm going to edit it up this week if Brian does the clips and puts those goddamn clips together. Our clips are our lifeblood right now. If we're going to grow this thing, it's going to be through clips.
Lifeblood.
All right. Thanks, guys. We'll see you next week.